So I guess we can. Yeah, where do we go from here? I actually don't. I don't know. We've kind of just been like jumping all over the place throughout the entire episode so far. Um. So actually, I want to jump back a bit. You said earlier that you want to do, or you guys at Docker want to do like a proper like relaunch of Docker Model Runner. So has that already happened? Are you is there like some plans to like sort of re-promote it, or what's the go there?
Yeah, in some ways it's already happened.
Mm,
Like it's been fully open source for like 5 months now.
mm. Did my Discord just crash again? What is happening with Discord today? Discord! What are you doing? Oh my lord. This tool. It's never been this crashy. What is going on? You know, I think Discord might have pushed a bad update.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about how the relaunch went open source. Yeah, just go from there.
Yeah, I can't see you on camera at the moment, but
No, it's all good. We'll fix it as we go.
yeah. So yeah, so in ways that has already happened. It's always been fully open source from 1 month in, but we've started trying to make it kind of easier for people
Mhm,
to contribute.
mhm,
So one of the things we did is the project was split into many different GitHub repositories,
mhm,
and some people were eyeballing the code to see if they can answer further, which we love, by the way.
mhm,
And they were like, "Oh my God, this is only a small portion of the code. The rest of the code must be proprietary. This isn't a real open source project."
mhm.
And the issue was that it was split into so many different projects that people didn't realize they had to jump between several GitHub repositories to get the whole application. So one of the things we did was we've centralized everything to just one GitHub repository to avoid that confusion. Um, we set up a community Slack so people can talk to us about features and whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we enabled Vulkan. I think Vulkan is actually important for accessibility because it means you don't need an NVIDIA GPU. Whatever NVIDIA GPU you have, you'll be able to use it and get some level of performance.
Mhm, mhm,
So it's kind of already happened. The only one thing we're missing is we're going to do a blog post just to communicate all this. But
mhm,
it's always been the case. I just think we could have communicated it better
mhm,
because when it was launched, it wasn't fully open source,
mhm.
and then we made it fully open source. This is like months ago. It was made fully open source, but we kind of forgot to communicate that in an effective way, I believe.
Right. And those sort of first impressions are very important. Like, that's going to
Yeah.
be how people see the project for a very long time, and trying to change that, even if it has changed in the actual project a long time ago, you got to get people to reconsider what opinion they already held of a project. And that's really difficult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Vulkan is a good point. I think we got bashed on release for
Mhm.
not
I think
enabling
that's the
Vulkan.
top comment on that thread. No, yeah,
Yeah, you know the thread I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. No NVIDIA GPU mentioned, no Vulkan, no Rockham. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of these issues have been resolved. It's
Mhm,
it's just communicating that and asking people to get involved, star, fork, contribute, talk to us on Slack if you're unsure
mhm,
of
mhm,
any of those things, because we want to see people use it in interesting ways.
mhm, mhm.
Because funnily enough, we have a lot of users, but yeah, we brought up this point earlier, but we're not quite sure what people are using it for,
Mhm.
and we'd love to build an even better tool.
Right, if you can understand what people are using it for, you can understand what areas to sort of highlight and try to enhance so that the users you already have are, happy with where the project's going.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I love is I love external contributors. I make contributors that don't work for Docker,
Mhm,
because sometimes we might have meetings or whatever, and we might be very close-minded about our goals. But
mhm,
I love seeing external contributors come into projects I work on,
mm,
because they come in with a completely different perspective, and
mm,
I'm like, oh, that's a really good feature. We never really considered that. Please go for it.
mhm, mhm. That's one of those advantages of open source isn't really discussed as much. Like people talk about, oh, you can modify the code, you can fork it, all this good stuff, but having a different perspective from the people who are primarily developing the project and sort of providing and also like providing just actual real world uses for it, because you might produce something, you might have an idea of how it's being used, you might use it in a certain way internally, but you realize that people outside are doing something you never even realized was something people wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And the engine I thought we spoke about earlier, Llama CPP, is a typical example of that, actually.
Mhm.
Because initially, I think the goal was to run Llama models on MacBook Pros,
Uh-huh.
and now it runs on almost everything, and it does those vision models that you were speaking about, like the doorbell webcam
Mhm.
example. It even does that now, and that was not an initial goal of the project. So.
Mhm. Mhm. So it just over time developed into the sort of everything project, and yeah.